How's it going, everyone? And let's go ahead and take a deep look inside the all-new GLC 63S AMG, as this is their latest model. And what makes this car unique is it's an all-wheel drive system with a 2-speed in the rear and a 9-speed in the front. As in the rear, we actually have an electric motor, which gives this vehicle an additional 200 horsepower to the already very powerful 4-cylinder engine from Mercedes, which happens to be the most powerful 4-cylinder in the market. So with this unique hybrid system, this engine is able to produce 671 horsepower altogether and 751 pound-feet of torque, and it's one heck of a vehicle. At 0 to 60, it's just 3.4 seconds. So if you're in the market for this AMG monster or the GLC 300, let's go ahead and take a deep look of all the cool things that this generation Mercedes has to offer. So if you watch my other car videos, you know I like to always start underneath the hood, because I like to know how it's like doing self-maintenance in case I avoid a warranty or I'm buying used or salvage. But here is the 4-cylinder 2-liter, and it is indeed handcrafted by Dexter Wheeler. You have an amazing strut bar, and on the side over here you do see your turbo, which there is an electric motor tied to this, as you can see, like some of the orange wiring over here showing us that it is a high voltage cable to power and operate this turbo. And the benefit of this is that allows the engine to constantly have the turbo up to spool, so there's literally no lag. And after driving this thing, there really isn't any lag whatsoever. So this is indeed a plug-in hybrid, which means it does have a somewhat large battery, as it does have a 6.1 kilowatt size battery, which allows this vehicle to get EPA range between 7 and 10 miles under electric charge. But altogether, I've been confidently able to get about 19 to 18 miles per gallon on highway and city. But looking at this engine, it looks like we do need to remove the strut bar to actually take out this engine cover, unfortunately. So minor maintenance, like reaching in there and grabbing your spark plugs. It looks to be a little bit of a hassle, but not too crazy. But everything else kind of, yeah, I don't know if my grandpa could actually work on this thing without additional knowledge and specific tools to remove certain things. But it is one good looking 4-cylinder, and which was funny enough inspired by F1 engineering apparently, which explains why this engine does not sound like your typical 4-cylinder. But in terms of changing your own oil, it does look like, here's the oil cap. And to my knowledge, this takes about 9.5 quarts, and it uses 5W40 motor oil, which you could easily find in most like retail stores as well as auto parts stores. But your coolant is located here. Interesting, it's not a clear cover, so you have to rely primarily on your instrument cluster for both your oil level as well as your radiator coolant, it seems like. And your air box looks to be located right here. It does not look easy to adjust or remove immediately, so you have to take a lot of things out to get access to your airbox filter, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a lot of heat with a lot of heat shield around the turbo right here. I personally wish this was underneath the engine, separating the additional heat away from the engine, you know. But the hood itself, pretty light, and you can push up even higher if you need to mechanically work on it and take the engine out. That's one thing I really like about Mercedes. You could just do that and work on your own car. Oh yeah, and also your windshield wiper fluid's located right here on the side. Your fuse boxes looks to be located back in there, and your 12-volt battery is located right here in case you gotta jump something, it looks like. But you do have your terminal right there if you have to jump start a car, or maybe your own. But yeah, look at that view with the hood straight up. Again, this is what I love about Mercedes. As gorgeous of a car this is, self-maintenance wise, it's not gonna be easy. Just like any modern day German vehicles nowadays. But closing the hood, I love this color. Of course, you have the AMG badging right here with some very bright headlights that do the auto soft high beams and low beams, as these are LED high performance headlights. There's no ports for fog lamps, but something tells me there might be wires in there in case you want to install them. Because when I hit the little fog lamp switch underneath the headlight control, it does illuminate on the screen that something's turning on, but I looked outside and nothing's illuminating. So maybe it has pre-wiring or pre-connection pins if you like to install third-party ones. But that's just me assuming, so feel free to comment down below in the comment section if you know exactly why this happens. You got sonar sensors in front, your tow hitch, and looking underneath the car, You got radiator openings right here for your cooling, but it looks like you got to remove a lot of pans if you like to drain your oil, and it's really low. Outside you do have a silver Mercedes emblem with the built-in sonar sensors and stuff for your adapted autopilot system that it has going on. More sonar sensors on the side. But on the side here where it says Turbo E Performance, notice how it's like a gunmetal finish where the door handles are chrome. Another thing I noticed, if we go on the back, it also features the gunmetal Mercedes emblem, different than the one in the front. And then since this is the performance version, we do have the red outline for the 63S. But back on the side over here, this Mercedes does come with the optional 21-inch wheels. And it does look like it's a single lug nut, but it's really not, as there's a tool in the back you'll find in the recovery hook part. This little tool, it's what's used to remove this single lug nut, and it just simply rotates out, and there you go, and exposes 5 lugs. So it's an illusion. It's not really a single lug nut, which I'm okay with, because single lug nut cars are very expensive to work on. This looks good. So this is an all-wheel drive car, but this all-wheel drive car drives just like any ordinary all-wheel drive vehicle on the road. Even though it has an electric motor tied to the rear and a 4-cylinder 9-speed in the front, it's able to quickly deliver all the power to the rear wheels 100%, and the front wheels and vice versa, just like a normal all-wheel drive system. And it's very grippy and modern. Just like these tires, which do come standard with Continental Sports, as these are the sport contacts, and they are scattered tires. As in the back, we have 295s, and in the front we have 265s right there. And with our spec model, we do have carbon ceramic brakes, as you could kind of see it from here. A little cracks of carbon ceramic, and the infamous cool like orange color for AMG on these massive calipers in both the front and the rear. And the back wheels, the axle actually does rotate as well to give you a closer turning radius, all thanks to the electric motors. You do have side skirts on this vehicle, and each door handle is a smart door handle with turn signals, 360 camera, and you even have roof rails on top here. Now, since we do have a plug-in hybrid, this will be your gas cap, which is unlockable from hitting the button in the front. This vehicle takes 91 octane and holds about 17 gallons of fuel, because if we go on the opposite side, this is where you'll find your little port for your plug-in, which you'll find out that the engine basically charges it a lot quicker than having it plug into one of these home chargers. But closing the hatch real quick, don't worry, I'll open it again. You'll notice that these have these type of taillights. If you get the coupe version, which is basically the shop version of their 4-door SUV model, I don't know why it's called a coupe, it's not 2 doors, but it has a different design on the rear. So these taillights are for the non-coupe version, and the coupe version will get the other taillights. And by shop, I mean you have much more cargo space with this, because on the coupe we have that weird slant design that takes away cargo space. But the cool thing about these taillights is, if we unlock the car, these are actual amber taillights, which is quite awesome. It's getting harder and harder to see modern day vehicles with amber lighting to make things less confusing when you're lane changing. You do have a rear wiper back here, and on the bottom you do have a quad exhaust tips, basically one exhaust tip for each cylinder it seems like, and a pretty good sized diffuser back here. Now the exhaust system for this AMG model is indeed active. As you can see, like the valves right there to open and close them, which is quite awesome. And it is indeed a gunmetal finish. And you have your recovery hook back here on the back bumper. But there's no spare tire, unfortunately. As we open up the back, sorry my stuff is up in here. Let me move this out of the way. Here we go, everything out here. You have good amount of cargo space, good for like Costco hauls. You even have a little privacy cover which you could just put on or take off like so. And you can 100% remove it if you just absolutely don't want this. But this is higher than other GLC models because the battery is located in the back, so you do have a slight raise in the back cargo space, unfortunately. And they do provide the cable to charge at home in case you need it. But the benefits of having the battery in the back, as well as the 4-cylinder engine in the front, is it has a nice balance, a better weight ratio with most of the weight in the front and the rear. And then you also have tie down hooks here. You could fold down these seats from here as well. Super easy to fold down. They're just not electric, unfortunately. You have to manually go in there and raise it up. And then you do have a little bit of a compartment spot right here with your inflation kit, as well as the tools needed to remove the wheels in case you need to. That's where I got this thing from. But no spare tire, unfortunately. And then your fuse box panel, it's located probably in here. If you ever need to work on your car or locate or wire like a dash cam, that's where you go in. And then this tailgate can go up pretty high. And if you like to reprogram it to be on that height, if your Mercedes has a tailgate like this, just move it to the desired height, tap the stop button, and then long hold again. Then the car will beep, and that's the save height for the tailgate. And now if we open it, it'll stop where we last left it. So that's pretty low for me. So I'm gonna raise this up higher and then set it up here. Now let's go ahead and close this and let me share with you the key fob for this car. So these newer Mercedes are using this style key fob, which is really heavy, nice weight, feels amazing. You press this button to release the valet key. This will be your panic button, and you have lock and unlock ability, of course. But if you long hold the unlock button, tap once and then long hold again, you'll roll down all your windows, including your glass roof on top if you have that. Now, unfortunately, with the key fob, you are unable to actually roll back all your windows. But if you like to roll them back without going into your car and turning it back on, you can just long hold the door handle and continue holding it. And all your windows will automatically roll up, including the glass roof on top will automatically close as well. And the cool thing about the glass roof is if you ever park your car and you forget it, its built-in windshield wiper sensors will sense that the sunroof is open and will automatically close if it detects that it's raining outside. So if you do accidentally forget it, you're not doomed. Now hopping into the back seats of this car, there are amber lights right here, which will actually illuminate and flash red in case there's like a cyclist or vehicle coming if you're about to open your door. So it does feature ambient lighting for emergency situations for your doors as well, if you're trying to get out of the car, which is quite awesome. But folding up the back seats, you can also fold them down right here. It's this little switch right here, and this will actually move the seatbelt out of the way so the seatbelt doesn't get caught up. I think that's kind of cool. But since we do have the AMG version, it does feature like this sportier design with that red stitching on the side. And if I do go ahead and hop back in here, I do have a good amount of space back here. I'm 5'8", and I have, oh, there's that red I was showing you earlier. It's just flashing, indicating that somebody went inside the vehicle. That's pretty awesome. But again, I do have plenty of headspace right here. I'm 5'8". Anybody who's like 6 foot should be perfectly fine to sit back here. I still have a good amount of headspace. The attention to detail, the touch, it's very Mercedes. Feels absolutely amazing. That feels like a cheese grater because it's made out of real like aluminum, it feels like. And the outer glow is RGB, so you can quickly change the color in the computer. But in terms of climate control, all we have back here are just vents we can open and close. A little cubby storage compartment right there. But unfortunately, there's no USB-C ports, at least for this model, this trim piece back here. So my rear passengers are going to have to wait until we're home. But back here, you do see more of like this sportier design of the bucket seats that we have, including like little vent openings back here. And then in the back, we do have a center armrest that we could open up. And if you tap once, it'll open up so you can actually put your phone here. And if you tap it again, it'll unveil the additional cup holders your passengers can actually have access to. But again, no charging ports back here, unfortunately, which is kind of disappointing for a 6-figure vehicle like this. But you do have your reading lamps as well as your whole snap handles. But now let's go ahead and hop in this car. Oh yeah, and real quick, we do have projectors that are illuminating from the bottom portion of your mirrors. So let's hop into the driver point of view, and we do have illuminating door sills right here on the side. And right here is where you'll find your tailgate release as well as your gas cap opener. That's how I was showing you earlier. And the cool thing about this, when you activate it, it illuminates. And in case you don't know what this thing is, when you remove your gas cap, This little hole right here, this is just a little holder. You'd be surprised how many people don't know about that. But now back in the car, here is the interior, and it looks absolutely amazing, especially with that carbon fiber trim piece that this vehicle comes selected with. You have this massive screen in front, a massive screen here, and we turn on the car. Here we go. And I gotta say, this interior is absolutely gorgeous. Now, all your cable ports are located right below here. 2 USB-C ports, a wireless charger, as well as little cubbies here, which you could fold to give yourself additional space. This one does not fold. But if your key fob is ever dead on batteries, if you look closely on a side right here of most modern day Mercedes, this will be a place where you'll place your key fob, and using NFC, it will automatically detect the key fob is there, and it will allow you to still start the car in case the battery is dead on your key fob. That's a little feature that not a lot of people know about. In here is your armrest, which divides into 2. So if your passenger has their arm on it, you don't have to disturb them or tell them to take their wrist out or something like that if they're asleep. But in here you do have this little compartment tray you could take out if you need to, and an additional USB-C port you can plug in. And this is connected to a USB-A adapter in case you're still using one of these old ones. Mercedes provides these for free. If yours doesn't come with it, go ahead and yell at them and tell them to give it to you. And there's a little light illuminating down here too, in case you're having a hard time finding something. And then in terms of storage, you do have a good amount of storage right here in the glove compartment. Additional cup holders on the doors for the driver and passenger side. Heated as well as ventilated seats, or you could run them both at the same time if you feel like it. The ventilated seats, I gotta say, these things, it runs really powerful. You can kind of hear the fan. It's super cool. And of course, you also have memory seats on the opposite side for your passenger as well. Now, a cool little thing about these Mercedes is if you have the vents that illuminate, by increasing the temperature, it would actually adapt in real time.
The temperature to 79 degrees.
It will actually adapt to the temperature that you're adjusting it to. Or if you like to, you could always long hold. It will quickly jump to the highest temperature, just like that. And then if you have a passenger and the passenger got off and they set their temperature and now you notice your temperature climate's unsynced, long hold the climate and it will automatically set it at the room temperature and will automatically relink them. So you don't have to tap climate and get to this page and tap sync manually. You can just long hold the climate. You may also do the exact same thing with the fan climate. So if you long hold on the larger fan, it will max it, and long hold on the smaller fan, it will jump down to the lowest setting. Other cool tips that this car has to offer is its mirrors, as you can just select here to adjust your mirrors. You can also fold them in, as you just witnessed. But if you select the right one and you leave the right one selected, each and every time when you select reverse, that mirror will fold down, allowing you to see your wheel better in case you're reverse parking to something. It has to be on that side to get that automatic mirror fold down function. If you select this one and you do it in reverse, it's just going to stay right there where you last left it. Now, I'm a massive fan with Mercedes UI system. It's really easy and basic to use. Basically, for any important settings you need to understand or want to quickly have access to, like your lane keep assist, just pull down. It'll bring up control center and select the vehicle icon. Here you have quick access to your snow chain, your auto parking, lane keep assist, steering assist, as well as towaway alarm too. So if you parked and something's trying to tow you, the alarm will actually be toggled. But if you want to actually like get somebody to tow you, you can just disable it here so it doesn't panic if it detects that. And it even shows like a little video example of how that will look like. Other cool things about this UI, regardless of the UI style that you're using, I'll show you how to change it. On the bottom of some of these icons, you'll find shortcuts to the important features. So an instance would be, let's see if we go to my cell phone, right? Automatically show me the CarPlay icon. I can just tap here, it will launch CarPlay all wirelessly. And if you like to customize it, you can always just long hold the apps and then rearrange it just by doing this. And then if you want to use maps, just tap on the maps, it will bring up Google Maps, which you could enable satellite view as well. And this is how that will look like. Privacy purposes, I'm not going to show you, but what I am going to show you is the capability if you want to have this into the default theme whenever you get in your car. By simply tapping on your car right here, go into settings, go into view. Here's where you can enable satellite view, like I was telling you earlier, as well as additional stuff like the weather and traffic control and stuff. But to get this into like the main default theme whenever you get in your car, you need to go into settings, go in all settings, go into system, go into display, and where it says home screen, select here. And then this is where you can switch between the classic or the zero layout, which this page right here will be your default each and every time you turn on your car. I am going to go back to system, go to display, and put it in classic, so it doesn't show you guys where I live. Now, if your Mercedes has this new steering wheel, basically, yes, you could tap here to change the themes between your navigation system. If you wanted to show this type of display, your services, you have that small customization ability right there. But if you have one of these little knobs right here, you could customize it so you have faster shortcuts to this. You see, whenever you change it, this page will pop up. If you tap the pencil icon, you could click and drag it to the mode you like to be next to it. So now when you press that mode, it'll immediately save the mode you selected in this dial, so it's quicker. And of course, you could tap on it to have additional settings. So this is your regen braking. You could increase it to level 3 for to have like that almost like one pedal driving experience. And then you can also change the suspension or other settings right here, including the fake engine sound, by selecting it and then just tap the little knob and it will start it. Traction control, you could disable it or enable it from here. It's all pretty customizable. And then down here you will see you do have additional buttons over here. Here you could just tap to like turn off your display or turn off the entire system, mute your audio. A quick swipe will allow you to increase or decrease the audio. You do have a fingerprint scanner, which you could program and link to your profiles. So every time when you get in, you just scan this once and it will scan your fingerprint and tie it to your profile automatically with your settings. This icon over here will be your quick vehicle settings as well. Like I was showing you earlier about like parking and lane keep assist. You could disable it over right here as well, or you could just tap this little car icon. This will be your battery charging information, which will show you your battery percentage. Do your programs. If you like to add like a departure time, you can totally do that. Your parking assist will launch 360 camera, which this 360 camera is pretty advanced. You can just slide your finger around to see every angle, or use one of these hotkey shortcuts to quickly switch to those type of viewing angles. But if we exit out of there and tap AMG, it'll bring you to this AMG menu as well, where you can select your steering wheel settings or the dynamic settings on the knobs I was showing you earlier. But if we exit out of here and quickly go to the AMD Performance app, here you can monitor your battery percentage, your drive flow, your eco flow, the RPMs, the torque. The additional vehicle information is your suspension, as well as like your engine, horsepower, torques, and where that power is being delivered, including your turbo gauge, temperature. But in IWC, this is that watch manufacturer that has that partnership with Mercedes. So you actually have an actual like copy of an IWC watch right here to do like your run times for like quick laps and stuff if you like to manually do it. So it's loaded with a lot of impressive features. And of course, on top of here, this will be your SOS. When you push this button, you'll release a little SOS button. You'll press this in case of emergency, not just yourself, but for anybody in any situation. But if you need like roadside assistance, don't hit the SOS, just hit the My Mercedes. It'll automatically get a hold of them, and they should be able to send a tow truck to your location. But these are your standard like lights controls, if you like to have it on or off whenever a door opens up. Your glass roof can be opened by simply sliding your finger back, and it will automatically open up like so. And it gets pretty far too. So it's just big enough I could probably squeeze out there with a little wind diffuser, and then just simply slide with your finger. It will automatically close like so. But if you like to give yourself maximum privacy, you can just slide again with your finger, and it will automatically bring up the privacy cover screen all the way on top to eliminate any sun from getting in or giving you the maximum privacy, of course. Sun visor, very standard. Yep, nothing special out of the ordinary. And in lighting, you can always just slide down, go to all vehicle setting, go in lighting, ambient lighting, manage settings, and you can select between all these different like tones to choose from. And you can also select a custom color wheel if you want to customize as your own personal preference. But in effects, this is where you can enable the climate. You know, while I was showing you earlier, these vents changing colors with the temperature. You can enable or disable it from here, as well as the track pace and that warning when exiting I was showing you about the doors. If you don't like it, you can also disable it from here as well. But there's no need to have them disabled in my opinion. I have all of them on for this reason. They're just nice safety features. Then for the voice my command thing that Mercedes has. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
How's the weather looking like?
Pardon, can you say that?
As it talks, just lower the volume and you can lower the AI, a virtual voice assistant voice. In addition to that, if you have CarPlay hooked up to your car, just long hold the voice command icon and that will quickly give you quick access to Siri, or a single tap will give you quick access to your voice control. But that is all the cool things that the GLC 63S has to offer. Now let's go ahead and see how it drives. All right, driving the Mercedes GLC AMG S, and yes, you heard some backfires right there. This car is really fun to drive. Like, this is crazy that this is a plug-in with almost 700 horsepower, 700 pound-feet of torque. For a four-cylinder, this does not sound like your standard Civic four-cylinder. This is like, it makes its own unique sound, which is insane, especially when you have it in track mode, which we have right now. Hopefully the microphone was picking it up, but there's definitely like backfire coming out of the exhaust. It's such a different experience if you haven't been inside one of these AMGs. AMG is, again, something about their engineering is just mind-blowing. Like, here, take a listen. Boom, we are already at speed limit. It just sounds gorgeous. No, it's not the grumbling V8 sound supercharger. This has its own unique design that's definitely very much appreciated. I actually applaud Mercedes for doing this. They could have just kept it safe and just focused on like an electric vehicle that has great handling, great acceleration, but they did this. And when you're not thinking about it, if you want to be efficient, this car can easily achieve 18, 19 miles per gallon plus if you're trying to coast and stuff. But this electric motor that has this setup, not only is it unnecessarily complicated, but it's extremely satisfying to drive. And this has like EV performance numbers too. Like the Model Y, for instance, the Model Y performance, 0 to 60, I believe it's like what, 3.5 seconds? This is still gas, and it's 0.1 millisecond quicker than that. And it handles a lot better. Beautiful sounding exhaust. This is one phenomenal vehicle. And of course you have all the modern day like safety feature comforts, blind spot monitoring, 360 camera, a nice big display. Your gauges will give you all the information that you need. If you need additional information, you can always just tap on AMG right here and see more stuff about your vehicle, live performance numbers, and of course you have all the important stuff like CarPlay, Android Auto, literally everything you could ask for a modern day vehicle without range anxiety, because this still runs on gas. So just fuel up at a gas station and continue your travel in just a matter of minutes versus having to wait almost 30 minutes just to fully charge your vehicle for a road trip. Now, the thing I noticed with this car, to get the maximum like hybrid performance, you want to have this vehicle running in comfort mode. But when you switch to sport mode, primarily just focuses on charging your battery. So if we put it in electric mode right now, you see we have a 97% charge. Put it in electric, let's just drive it real quick. Just drive this car and just witness like this range from 8 mile ETA range on full electric. Just go down super quick, 95, 96, literally in real time right here. You can see the range dropping. Also, one thing I noticed in electric mode, the electric motors will not allow this vehicle to get past 80 miles per hour. So just keep that in mind. In electric mode, it's capped at 80, and it definitely drains like the battery levels quick. But right now we are going down, but hey, we are basically just using nothing but electricity, and it's a lot cheaper than premium gas per gallon, that's for sure. Still continuing to go down, but the regen is pretty strong. You can maximize it too if you want all 3 bars like I previously showed you. And the cool thing about these Mercedes, they all share the same exact feature, and that is at a complete stop, as soon as we slow down, And once we're at a complete stop, apply a lot of force in the brake pedal. It will automatically put the car in hold. So on the dash right here, I'm not sure if the camera can see this, but it literally just says hold right there. So no need to go into settings and enable that. Just apply super hard on the brake pedal and it will automatically hold. So during those times where you're just waiting in line, you can just do that. But in situations like when you're just coasting in the city, you don't have to worry about your vehicle coming to a complete stop. So I like that freedom that Mercedes gives us. But yeah, we are just going down battery percentage quick. But if I quickly put the vehicle in sport mode and we launch this battery again, as we drive, it regenerates battery. I don't like the fact how the voice, my Mercedes, keeps interrupting me though. I didn't even say my Mercedes.
I haven't found any music data.
Nobody asked for music. So it is kind of obnoxious. Personal preference, I would personally disable that. But yeah, as we're driving, it's already charging the battery. It's just focusing on charging the battery. It not only holds its gears longer, but even as you coast, it's just generating electricity. You know that rough feel that you get from like driving like a souped up sport car or supercar of some sort? It gives you that same experience, and the way it does that.
Found multiple
Nobody's talking to you, Mercedes. Okay, as I was saying, in sport and track mode, sport plus and track mode, it primarily focuses on regenerating the battery, and that's it. So once you're done driving this car fast, you can just quickly switch to electricity and continue to coast. And now we're driving completely on electricity. I like that. Switch to the sport or track mode and it just regenerates the battery while you're having to plug this thing in.
It's not available at present.
Another thing about this Mercedes is when you're just driving casually, if you hold down on the downshift pedal, the car will immediately put itself in the appropriate low gear so you can make safe passes for those emergency procedures when you just have to pass something quickly. And there we have it. That is everything cool and insane that this plug-in hybrid, this is a supercar, honestly. This is impressive for an SUV of its size. It sounds amazing. It drives rough if you love like tight suspension feedback. This delivers, but even in comfort mode, I'm pretty surprised how well the suspension and everything adapts and adjusts to make this into a pretty comfortable car. But regardless, I'm really impressed with the engineering that Mercedes was able to deliver with this masterpiece. It's a very impressive car and super fun to drive. It's hard to believe, again, this is an SUV. And comparing it against its rival, like the Porsche Macan, this thing blows it out the water. I'm glad that Mercedes decided to do this route instead of building like a fully electric EV version of this. They just decided to make this into a plug-in hybrid, and guess what? The performance actually beats most modern day, even expensive performance EV vehicles available in the market. So this is definitely an impressive SUV, I gotta say. It looks great, drives incredibly, makes terrific sounds. But there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know, like, subscribe for more car videos like this, and feel free to comment down below if there's another vehicle you wish for me to get my hands on. I'll do my best and see what I can do. In the meantime, if you'd like to watch another car video, check out that video over there. That is the video the YouTube algorithm is recommending for you. Thank you so much for watching.